Hey guys, just another casual back at it again, but this time with Vanguard. And today I'll just be doing a deck showcase. If you probably didn't already know, this is my Gear Chronicle deck. So without any further ado, let's get started. So my starter is the original Chrono Dread. And if you're wondering why, it's because his ability actually works pretty nice with some of the new cards. So yeah, his ability is when he's time leaped, you put him into your soul, and then you look for Chrono Jet, and then at the end of the turn, the Chrono Jet goes to your hand. So it's a nice way to be able to stride your next turn. And he works well with cards like Meshkia and Lab Machine and stuff like that, which I will be showing you later. Moving on quickly to my grade 3s. I run a set of Chrono Jet G, basically because I love units that give field buffs, or any kind of unit that does something to the rear guards. So Chrono Jet G, he gives himself plus 5,000 for every 2 units you have face up in your G zone, and plus 1,000 to all of your Zodiac Time Beast rear guards with the same kind of like requirement. Then his second ability is when you stride Zodiac Time Beast or Gear Dragon, he lets you call a card from your hand, and then you can time leap any unit you want. Of course, on your field. So, yeah, a set. And then I'm actually very upset with this because I can't find my other Chrono Jet. It was the first art, and personally, the first art is one of my favorites of the 3. Yeah, so the original Chrono Jet. If you're wondering why I'm still putting this in, it's because the deck doesn't really run properly if you're not Chrono Jet. And with new cards like Crossover coming in, and the new G Guardian like Arlim, you'll have a hard time being able to fully synergize those kinds of cards without having the original Chrono Jet in. So it's always a good thing to have at least 2 in, just in case one goes to the damage zone or you have to stride with one of them. Actually, striding with one of them isn't as bad. But anyway, moving on. The last grade 3s of the deck are Chrono Fang Tiger G. And basically because he's a nice peekaboo, because he works on the Vanguard or the rear guard, but again, try as much as possible to be Chrono Jet, unless you're running a Fang deck. Anyway, nice ability. He's basically a 1-for-1 and a Soul Blast. Choose one of your cards, put it to the bottom of your deck, choose one of their cards in the same unit as him. If he attacks a Vanguard, and put that card to the bottom of their deck. Moving on to the grade 2s. Chrono Beat Buffalo, and pretty much from his name, he's an 11k beat stick, or beater. And, nice and simple, just the way I like it. Oh, as long as you are a Zodiac Time Beast, of course. Next, I have 4 Chromacon Monkeys. The reason for this, that there's a set, is because I haven't been able to go out and fully update this deck. I haven't been able to go out and buy any PreGBT09s or go and get some Gears of Fate boxes, so I'm kind of just stuck with what I have. But he's still a good card. Counterblast 1 plus 5 if you are a Zodiac Time Beast. If your Vanguard is a Zodiac Time Beast. Yep. 14k attacker. And of course, what would a gear deck be without History Maker? When he attacks, it gives him you can time leap another one of your units, and he's basically essential in any Gear Chronicle deck, because he helps the flow of the combos with time leap just happen. Always good to have. A staple. I probably should have more though. But anyway, the deck works as it is. So yeah. Next, I have 1 Upstream Jagan. For the same reason that I have a set of Chronicle Monkeys, is because I don't have any Lugal Ures. the new double R from GBT09. So basically, still him, but he's good because he can call out grade 1 units that you might need, like let's say Etana or a Causality Dragon. Yep, so +4, and he goes back to the deck. Call grade 1 as rest. End of story. So on to the grade 1s. I actually don't use the stride fodder. If that is surprising or not, I don't know. But my grade 1s are my toolbox, basically. So I'm starting off with the grade 1s. Steam Sniper Lishma. She's a TD card, and she's super useful in my opinion. Especially early game, if you're looking to rush a little bit more than usual, because gear doesn't really it kind of does focus on rush now, but not as much, especially the early game. So Lishma, if she boosts a Vanguard, Soul Blast 1 at the end of the battle, and then discard a card from your hand, you can Time Leap her. So attack with her, attack with a rear guard, maybe like Chrono Beat or Chromacon Monkey, and then attack, with her behind someone, and then Time Leap her, and then call something beside, and then attack again. If that made no sense, I honestly do not. I do not blame you, because that sounded a lot better in my head. Anyway, her second ability activates when you are GB1, and that is when she's called back from the bind zone. You can counterblast 1 and draw a card. Oh, whoops. Next, I have Etana, pretty much just for the +5,000, and it's costless. So Etana. Actually, when I was still building the deck, I was debating whether it was going to be him or the promo turned single R. I forgot her name. Anyway, when she's put into the bind zone, you can bottom deck one of your opponent's grade 1s. So next, we have Steam Maiden Meshkia. And I put her in because she's a really, really, really good alternative, in my opinion, to GG, because it lets you save your soul for other cards, maybe like Tiger or Hetero Hound. Really good card. So when she's called, because of a Time Leap ability, rest her, you give one of your units +4, and then you can draw a card. Simple. And she's pretty. Next, I run 3 Causality Dragons. Basically, this is a, what do you call it? Chrono Jet's teenage years. So what he does is when he's called, if you have a Chronojet Vanguard, choose one of your units, it's +2, and then an on-hit Time Leap ability. I love this card because it's nice. It's nice on-hit pressure, especially early game. Maybe first stride turn, stuff like that. And then of course I run a set of Jackals because they are 11k beat sticks, and he's holding a very nice tentacly beat stick. And he looks like a total badass. I was hoping that when I got my TDs that I would get at least one hot stamp version of him, just because he looks so cool. But sadly, I did not have any such luck. But anyway, still a badass nonetheless. And of course, PGs. 2 TD PGs, because I'm a penny pincher. And 2 of these new PGs. Labashim. Like I said, works really well with Dren, because when he's called from your deck because of Time Leap ability, you can discard 1 card and put him straight to your hand. So the turn that you Time Leap Dren, you basically get a grade 3 for your next stride, and a PG, just for defenses that for your opponent's upcoming turn. So really nice. So it really just depends on how you toolbox your deck, basically. So next, of course, the triggers. A set of crits. a set of heals, a set of draws, 2 of these stands, because one is shiny, and 2 Urwatars. Urwatar, he is like the subject to so many like annoyed players of other clans just because of his Melem and Melem and TikTok combo. But you know what? I don't run those, so I don't know if he's that much better, but he's still really useful because he still works with Labashim and maybe Meshkia. His ability is, for those of you who don't know, when he's put to the bind zone, you can put him at the bottom of your deck, draw 2 cards, put 1 card back to your deck, and then shuffle. So he basically just lets you choose another. He's basically a free draw. Yep, so that's pretty much it. And if you're wondering why I only have 2, it's just because it's easier for me to guard with triggers that don't have abilities, because I don't find them, you know, as essential in later turns, you know, thinking, oh, I can use his ability next turn. Yeah, so basically it. So on to my G zone, starting off with the G guards. I run 2 Ulurus. She is really, really, really useful. You should have at least 2 or 3 depending on your preference, but I run 2. Next, I run 1 Rafana just to pull out, just to put back cards that should not be on my field, and maybe pull out an Urwatar. And 1 Hetero Hound Dragon for those giant numbers that all the other clans seem to be able to pump out nowadays. I remember the days. I actually started playing Vanguard when when BT9 came out, so before even the Limit Break 5 Azel and Glory Maelstrom came out. And I remember the kinds of numbers that existed, and they are not the same at all. Anyway, moving on. I run a set of Huanglongs just because he is really, really good at letting you just toolbox your bind zone. You know, it really just depends on your play style. For me, I'm more of a beat him down kind of guy, so I would bind a Jackal, call a Buffalo, attack with a Buffalo, attack with Huanglong, then call the Jackal back, and then slap him again with a Jackal, basically. Next, 2 Metallica Phoenix. This really just depends on who you're riding at the time. If you're riding the original Chrono Jet, this is really just your only choice, basically. And on attack, timely ability. And people look at me funny when I run this, but he's actually really useful, especially if your front row is consisted of grade 3s, because he doesn't really count as a time leap, because you can bind any card and he calls a grade 3 regardless of what the original grade of the first unit you bound was. So yeah, Epoch Maker, on hit, call grade 3. Very nice. Next, of course, 1 Fate Rider, just because he's a nice field buff and I love field buff cards. So he's costless. Who does not like a costless stride? And of course, supposedly 2 Gear Groovies, but like I said earlier, I don't have, you know, the time to go out and look for cards, especially because I'm new in the area. But anyway, he's like Kakashi from Naruto. I'm sorry if you guys don't like Naruto, but he's basically Kakashi. He copies the ability of 2 other units, 2 other Gear Dragons, as long as their abilities are auto. So yep, that's basically it. When I get another one, I will be able to use him, but for now, he is just G-assist fodder. I'm so sorry. And of course, next stage. I only run 2 because most of the time, by the time that I stride him, the turn after, I'm either dead or the game's over. So, yeah. And he's a really nice combo with the new Chrono Jet, especially if he's one of your late game strides, because it means, you know, bigger numbers on your field. So that's basically it. So that's my gear deck. If you guys liked it, leave a comment. like, subscribe, tell your friends, and if you have any questions on the reasoning behind why I put some cards in and why I didn't put other ones in, uh, leave me a comment and we can talk about it also. So, till next video, guys.